Podcast, a division of Space Action Heroes, a webcomic you can find at spaceactionheroes.com. I am Chris Carson.
I'm D.C Chama, and a Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.
Happy holiday, Christmas, Xmas.
Do we get copyright infringement if I sing that?
Boom, boom, boom. I don't know. If we sing Happy Birthday, we probably
Yeah, we definitely do.
I don't know if their algorithms would be able to detect us just going dun 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 dun.
Don't chance it, man. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, welcome to our Christmas podcast, guys. We're going to talk about some Christmas stuff, basically. We're just going to yammer on about Christmas shit.
About Christmassy goodness.
Mm-hmm. Holiday goodness. And
like such classics.
And we probably enjoy this, because we won't be around probably for a few weeks because of New Year's and everything else. But,
I thought something horrible was happening. I was like, what's
enjoy
happening?
this, because I'm about to murder DC.
What's with the bad?
Dun, dun, dun. So let's start off talking about Gremlins.
Just imagine that you upload a podcast of me being beaten to
Murdered.
death. How long does it take before? Because like, think about it. Someone has to hear it, then report it to the cops. By then, you're in the wind.
Yeah,
like, you're gone.
It's like when people are huge YouTube stars. It still takes like a week for their stuff to get taken down. So we only get a few hits. I would totally get away with that.
That'd be a fucked up thing. It was on the internet for 4 months before anyone found it. So
that should be a radio play that we do.
Oh,
we'll do like a War of the Worlds thing where we actually pretend like we're doing a podcast and I should not include this now. It's spoiling things.
Well done.
Yeah, I'll cut this part. Hey, we'll start again here. Merry Christmas, guys. Let's talk about Gremlins.
Little monsters.
Right.
Hundreds of them.
Well, I don't know, maybe thousands.
They've been here too. Billy, what are these things? Where do they come from?
Look, I know it sounds crazy, I know. But in a few hours, you're gonna have a major disaster on your hands.
You saw Gremlins a few years ago. I've seen Gremlins 1,000,000,001 times. I love Gremlins. It's a little racist. Gremlins do really represent Asians. But the whole... Even Mr. Futterman at one point even says, "The Gremlins in your engine, those fucking Japanese cars."
Gotcha.
So very much is that. And I love the opening scene of Gremlins in Chinatown, and you see a sailor take a hooker down an alleyway to fuck.
Oh yeah, in a kids movie. Spielberg kids movie. That's right.
Yeah. And
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
He's gonna be jingling those balls. Okay.
All the crazy inventions. There was one I'm trying to remember now, because I think it was like a cellular telephone was one of his crazy inventions that couldn't get to work. Out of all like Billy's dad's stupid inventions, one of them was a cell phone. And I'm hoping...
Oh, because he was an inventor.
So
it's been a hot minute.
Failed, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that Daddy Peltzer is now a billionaire in Silicon Valley because he invented the cell phone. That would be pretty great.
How does the second one end?
The second one is one of my favorite sequels of all time. I love it. Because just as a quick history for anyone who doesn't know, the first Gremlins was envisioned to be an actual horror film. And then Joe Dante was like, you can't make a horror film out of adorable little puppets. This has to be a comedy. And Spielberg was adamantly against that. He wanted it to be a fucking horror movie.
Okay.
And so the first one was such a success that they got Joe Dante back by being like, make the one you wanted to make in the first place. So the second one is just a straight up unapologetic comedy. And I love the second one.
It's just fun.
It's
one of my favorite movies as a kid.
I really want to see part 3 with President Clamp, and I want to see Gremlins taking over Washington. I think that'd be
pretty like period perfect right now. And
with
also like
Muppets.
Oh yeah, and that's what would be kind of cool is that the technology is really caught up. So that'd be really fun to see like those puppets actualized now.
And we're in an age now where everyone's really kind of rallying against CGI. Yeah. So they would definitely make them all
100%.
The only fun about Gremlins is knowing there's like 8 drunk animators going, oh my God, and just fucking around with them. But yeah, everyone's seen Gremlins. There's not a lot to say about it, but it's an amazing Christmas
All I know
movie.
is that I had a gizmo. I totally had I think we had 2 of them when I was a kid, and like you shook them and it would squeak and shit. That movie was iconic as shit. That character was huge.
I finally got to fulfill one of my life's fantasies about 2 years ago, and I got the spider gremlin.
Oh, sick!
And he's huge.
Oh,
I love that gremlin.
That was my favorite part as a kid. I'm like, whenever you see that vial with the silhouette with the spider on it, you're like, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
The only thing is they fucked up his teeth. He's all gummy in the toy, where he actually had little nabby teeth in the movie. So
I love the bat one, too. That
that freezes like Batman.
Yes, very cool.
And Futterman goes after because he didn't die, I guess, when the truck drove through his front door and smushed him and his wife. He somehow survived that.
I don't remember it that well at all.
Oh, he dies in the first one. He straight up dies in the first one.
And he's just around in the second one? Okay.
He's coming to visit Billy for some reason in New York that weekend.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, I guess it's not an on-screen death. It's him and his wife going, and screaming as a truck then from the outside.
What you missed was the post-credit scene where he has like a Band-Aid and a cast and a crutch or some shit.
Oh, that car nearly killed us. But he's been all convinced by therapists that the Gremlins weren't real, which was kind of odd considering the whole town experience.
Yeah, like they're really good therapists.
Yeah.
They work entire communities.
Yeah.
Paid very well.
Did they trick everyone to say there was like something in the water that week and everyone like had a mass hallucination?
I'm trying to think. Well, basically you'd have to. There's no other way to contain something on that
the Gremlins,
scale.
yeah.
And also, wasn't there colossal damage to the city? Like, where did all these scratches and fucking bite marks come from? Like,
They blew up the theater to kill them. They were all watching Snow White, and they blew it up.
That's right.
And then that was the one with Stripe, and then Mohawk was the gremlin from the second one who became Spider.
That's right.
Yeah. Mohawk. And Christopher Lee is in the second one is the mad scientist.
Is it Christopher Lee?
Yeah, just experimenting with genetics, just loving combining things.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and the second one's brilliant because it's just unapologetically a comedy.
Yeah.
They don't even pretend to be horror. And then there's parts of it where you're genuinely like, oh, this is really creepy and fucked up.
They also, what, like the fucking sexy one?
Oh, the sexy one
fucked me up as a kid.
The sexy one fucked the doctor from Star Trek Voyager, yeah.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
Their whole melting at the end, and they had part of the sound, design, or part of the score was a siren, so it was going...
Oh, okay.
As they were all melting at the end, and you're like, oh, that's uncomfortable.
It's like a genuinely disturbing imagery, yeah.
It's genuinely fucked up.
He is Spielberg, man. Well, he didn't do the second one.
That was pure Joe Dante.
Well, he came from Spielberg.
Yeah. I think he still executive produced the second one.
So there you go. They watched the end of fucking, Last Crusade, and they're like, that's effective.
Yeah, but we want that with Gremlins. Yeah. No, it was so good. I love the second one. I love the first one. The second one's not a Christmas movie, but... still, it's in the Gremlins franchise. What about you, sir? What Christmas movie would you like to throw out
I
here?
have an unconventional Christmas movie list that I like to do every year, where there are movies that, like, Die Hard's the most obvious one, where they're not necessarily Christmas movies, but I just find them perfect.
I think like an element of Christmas leads into the plot, like John McClane was coming back for Christmas. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So one of them, I know you love, is fucking Batman Returns.
I've been down here too long. It's time for me to ascend.
From the sewers of Gotham, a new villain emerges. From the rooftops of Gotham, the perfect enemy comes to life.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar. Yeah.
And the only one who can save this city is a creature of the night.
Oh, yeah.
That is like one of the best Christmas movies.
It's an amazing Christmas movie.
Every year I have to watch it. I remember seeing that in theaters. I remember it was the first movie I was like excited for.
Yeah.
In a big bad way. Like I had like the little toy Batmobile I got from McDonald's and everything. I was
the penguin of the Burgess Meredith 60s penguin, but they repainted him black.
Oh, with the kind of Tim Burton color.
Because they didn't want that little creature as a toy. Yeah.
But I just remember going to see that movie in theaters, and like whenever the bat dildo fucking pops in the shape, it had all the like the mechanizations of like what we see as, I guess it set the fucking template like back then. Now we add CGI and fucking crazy over the top. Yeah. But that movie has all the beats of just like, it's not as. The first one's all about this dichotomy of Bruce Wayne and Batman. How do I deal with duality? Yeah. This one's just like...
It's just a point-to-point story. Nothing leads anywhere. It's just,
It makes no sense. Yeah. It's just an episode of, like, the animated series. Like, it's so fun. I love that movie.
I love that moment when he's driving the Bat Dick down the sewer and the penguin comes out of the water and shoots a missile at him. He dodges it, and that look back. I think Kevin Smith even talked about that. That look back the Batman does. Like, what the fuck was that?
Like, I'm one of the best fucking superheroes on the planet, and I almost got killed by a fucking penguin.
penguin.
I love that I freeze framed it for the longest time. That was my
his
avatar. That Scrunch Keaton face.
Yeah.
And also, like, you throw in Christopher Walken as one of the best Batman villains ever.
Here's a factoid for you. Did you know that originally Billy D. Williams was supposed to be playing Harvey Dent in the role that Christopher Walken was in as Max Schreck?
Okay.
Originally, he was supposed to be kind of a corrupt district attorney who knocked Selena Kyle out the window. And so she wanted revenge on Harvey Dent. And at the end, when she electrocutes Max Schreck, it was supposed to be Harvey Dent, and that's what burned half his face off.
That would be fun.
It was setting up part 3, which is going to be Robin Williams as the Riddler, and Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, already two-faced from the end of the last film. In production, they were like, that's too complicated. We don't want to set up other movies here. We make standalone movies. Talk about, like, not ahead of their own time.
Oh, no.
They wanted it to be standalone, self-contained, so they had to pull out Harvey Dent, and they made the character Max Schreck to take his place.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's hilarious. Just the idea of a studio making a superhero movie going, whoa. We don't want to set up other movies here, guys. We want this to be self-contained.
And again, you would have been pulling that thread from day one. Like, that would have been so ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
Can you imagine? That would have been amazing.
Oh, man.
And then the classic argument, it's not a Batman movie as much as it's a Tim Burton movie with Batman in it.
Yeah.
Which is fair. And I do think it holds up. I know I have some friends who say it's nostalgia that makes those movies good. And I don't agree, because 95% of shit I liked as a kid, I go back to now and I go, well, this is trash. Like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
That fits so well into the library of Tim Burton, of, like, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, these two weird movies about a Batman. Like, it works in his universe.
Fucked up dude. And also, I kind of like the way, like, if there is any arc through the two Keaton movies, is that, like, he's kind of just accepted it at this point. He's like, oh, I'm kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
I sit in a dark room waiting for a bat symbol to go off.
A series of bat signals to aim into my foot. Not very subtle, Bruce. What if you have guests over in the middle of the night? You know,
during the day, though, too, it would be clearly a bat symbol.
Yeah, hanging off Wayne Manor. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But I love Selena Kyle in that one. I love the scene, man, where she finally snaps the cats are nipping at her.
Oh, and drives her mad.
And she goes nuts. Like, that performance she gives, because she's got those psychotic eyes when she really needs to pull them out.
Yeah.
And she just goes apeshit. It's one of the best, like, you want to talk about female empowerment, Gal Gadot, that's one of the best scenes of DC feminine characters ever gone.
Her smashing the answering machine, talking about Gotham Lady perfume.
For Max Schreck, because you never know when the boss... And I'm like,
the boss will ask you to stay late.
Just try to murder her. You're like, perfect. Beautiful.
And the music there, too, just those strings of...
Elfman, man.
Freaking out.
It's so
and
good.
then for no reason, she has hello there, just so she could smash it to say hell here. Why did Selena Kyle have, like,
it was
fluorescent
the fucking
hello here?
Early 90s, dude. I think that would have been kind of commonplace to have, like, a fucking palm tree thing? Or, like, what do you call it, the beer open
right,
signs.
yeah.
People had that shit.
Hello there. Smash.
I don't know why I'm defending the art direction of a movie from 1992.
On the topic of art direction, the only disappointing thing, even though it looks great, the only disappointing thing I have about Batman Returns is that the production designer for the first film died before the second film went into production, so Tim Burton just took over the duties as production designer. So I love how it looks, but it looks way more like a Tim Burton city than Anton Furst's Gotham City from the first one.
Yeah.
Which I love the look of Gotham in the first one.
Yeah, it looks like it's just the entire city's a factory.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Filthy fucking factory.
And I think they really only use... No, I guess there's a couple shots. I'm thinking one of the main sets is the Gotham Square where they do the lighting the Christmas tree, which is insane that that's a fucking set to begin with. Like, that's mind-bending.
Huge set.
Yeah.
And I think the excuse was because at one point you see the cathedral from the first movie way at the other side of town. So I think the idea was that, well, this is a completely other side of the city, so it looks different. There's a different feel to it.
I didn't even think to look for that gargantuan cathedral in the second
it's
one.
There.
You see it?
It's in a couple of the skyline shots, but it's way in the distance, implying that that's Anton Furst's Gotham City down by the that's the harbor front.
Gotcha.
We're in like the financial district.
So that's like a tradition then. They did the same thing with the Narrows in Batman, where it's like, remember this place where all the psychopaths got out? It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
They kind of disappeared in Dark Knight, didn't they? They mentioned them.
I think the implication was like the Joker was rounding them up and making them mask jockeys.
Because in the Dark Knight Rises, when they blow up the bridges, where's the Narrows there?
Not there at all. That's because it's the thing that pisses me off the most about the fucking Dark Knight Rises. Well, not the most, but it's one of many. Is that the helicopter?
Also a Christmas movie, a little bit. The ending all takes place in winter. We can assume, well, summer with a shot for winter.
Yes. Maybe it's just the nuclear winter on Gotham.
Yeah, there's fake snow, but in the distance you can see trees.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you know, when they show the helicopter shot of Gotham City and the bridges are going out, it's clearly just Manhattan Island.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
And they show Gotham City clearly from the plane when Bruce is landing and Batman begins.
Massive city.
Sprawling city.
Stretches,
it looks like it's just floating on water. It looks more like Dubai, if anything.
Yeah.
So it just really confuses the fuck out of you, because all of a sudden you're like, okay, so where are those narrows that we talked about? Like, this geographically no longer makes any sense.
They went a little too real world, for sure,
did.
in terms of Gotham's design, because they actually shot it, and all the exteriors were shot in New York. In the last film, all the exteriors were shot in Chicago, and there was tons of exteriors. In this, it was all sets. And there were like 3, I think, shots when they were outside the stock exchange when Bane comes out on the motorcycle.
Gotcha.
The ending, the fight scene at the end on like Wall Street. Yeah. Again, where you can see like summer bloomed trees but snow everywhere because they didn't bother to animate them out. Fucking lazy assholes. But
meanwhile, you cut to the fucking 20 years earlier, you're watching Batman Returns and you're watching 8 dozen tiny, like, I love the CGI penguins, man, when they start walking on the square.
Oh,
like
puppets.
Yeah. Oh, the puppets, but like
any CGI in that movie.
There is. Yeah, no, I remember watching an ILM thing. It was like, I think
92? That was the year before Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, but it's only there's one shot. It's Gotham Square, and they're all walking. So remember the way they programmed it was they had one penguin be like the leader, and they all just kind of follow the pattern.
Gotcha.
So it's just the one shot where they all kind of convene on the square, and then they pull back. They're like dots in the shot. You really can't see any detail. But yeah, that was like one of the first major uses of CGI.
I didn't realize that at all. I guess I would have assumed it was hand animated, but they actually CGI'd it up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. 92. I guess they were gearing up for Jurassic Park, all these companies.
That's true, yeah. But then, no one's like, the trees are fun.
Yeah, I don't understand. I still can't. No, always. I think it was like the MTV Movie Awards where he came out and to introduce a clip from Dark Knight Rises and was like, "We tried our best," and he was so like underselling it because he realized I still think that movie's fine, but that's a whole other podcast.
It's definitely the Return of the Jedi, that trilogy,
where
it's just like, Jesus, dude, try to just bring this plane to a landing, just end it.
It kind of they sullied it.
They really did. Like, quite literally, dude. It ends with Batman in the daylight flying a jet with a nuke on it out to the ocean. You're like, what is this? I don't understand.
Too big for Batman.
It's ridiculous. It's out of control. Anyways,
so what other Chris, Home Alone?
Have yourself
I have a terrible feeling. Did you lock up?
Let yourself be light.
Do we set the timers on the lights?
Mm-hmm. What else could we be forgetting?
Our troubles will be ours.
Kevin!
Home Alone.
Home Alone is one of the best fucking movies, period.
I'm gonna have to let you take the lead on it because I love Home Alone, but I haven't seen it in probably 15 years.
See, the worst part is I'm more familiar with the second one. I think I've said this before, but when I was a kid, I always bought the sequels. I never bought the originals. Like, I have Ninja Turtles 2 and I have Home Alone 2, but I never got the originals. Mm-hmm. So I was an idiot. Chris Carson.
The sequels for kids, though, the sequels are always bigger and crazier.
Showier.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, as an adult, you learn to appreciate the originals because this was the inception point.
That's like why I love Raiders as an adult, but as a kid, I loved Last Crusade.
Exact perfect analogy. First one, though, does have that element of, like, heart. The second one doesn't. The second one, you're really just waiting for the payoff. And also, it's a copy of the first one, for fuck's sakes.
And that's the one where marketing really took over, because it's Talk Boy Radio.
Oh, I wanted one of those so
badly. That's what they wanted you to want.
Dude, I wanted Buzz Lightyear. I wanted a Talk Boy.
That Talk Boy was specifically put in the movie to sell the toy that came out the week the movie came out.
I thought it was like from Home Alone. They were just like, we can tie this in.
No, it was an original creation. Because they actually, I was reading about this the other day, actually. They used the original production sketches for the Talk Boy, sent it to the company, whoever made it, and they made it look as much like they could to the on-camera version as they could.
It's such a dumb invention.
It's so stupid, but it was literally 100% a decision of like, let's put a product in here that people will want to buy. It's coming out around Christmas. So what can we get out there?
Oh man, there was a post-Zemeckis world. They were like, why didn't you make those hoverboards? Yep. Even if they didn't fly, you fucking idiots, you could have done it.
You fucked up with the Indiana Jones toys, where all the indie toys.
Yep.
Star Wars, they succeeded.
Yeah, jump on the Lucas boat.
He knows what to do. Sell your franchise right as everyone's sick of it.
Home Alone 3, Kevin's gonna escape the house with a fucking like electric tricycle.
And you know there's 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I have no memory of the third one. I know the fourth one has French Stewart in it, and then the fifth one, no idea.
I can't believe you even know that there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
Like, I know they keep coming out, but don't bother.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly on Disney Adventures, I still collected those as a kid.
The little magazines.
Little magazines, yeah, because the covers were sweet as shit.
I got the Lost World one, I remember. I was like 15 at the time, but I got
the green cover with the T-Rex on it, right?
Yeah, and I remember the interview with Kelly, and it was just so for kids, because at that point I was 15, but I just wanted to get Lost World information.
Yeah.
Like, this is clearly written for someone who's 10. Oh, dear.
Meanwhile, I'm like, awesome!
Well, you were 10.
I was 10! I loved it! I remember they had a map, and it was a puzzle. So it was a little maze you had to solve, but to get through the maze, you had to avoid 3 pictures of the main bad guys. 2
Donald
guys.
Trump?
No, not yet. He hadn't mechanized his plan. He was just a lovable billionaire back there,
just the guy pointing
hanging out in the
where to go.
lobby. Yeah, he was harmless.
That's how we got it, right? He offered him a discount to shoot there if he got to be in the movie.
Is that what it was?
He was branded himself for years. Anyway, sorry.
But whenever in the maze, I saw the pictures of the 3 villains. This dude's fucking face. No offense to the actor, but this was goddamn 20 years ago. Just pissed me off so much.
Which guy?
I don't know. In the third one.
Oh, the Home Alone 3.
Yeah.
Because he's not. It's all new cast.
It's
right?
not. No, because at that point Macaulay Culkin was like 13 and already getting the shit, so they had to find a new kid. So yeah, no, Catherine O'Hara didn't touch that fucking.
I don't think anybody in it. Was there the Michael Gough, through line of Alfred?
No, right? Yeah, there's no Pat Hingle to be had.
No Pat Hingle.
But no, I remember in that one, his name was Unger. And his fucking face, he had like this sourpuss look on his face. And I remember looking at the thing at being 10 years old and being like, I hate this movie. I have never...
The first itching of, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm not watching this. I fuck this movie in its stupid mouth. Yeah. I hate it.
Where's the actual cast?
I do have a favorite moment, though, from Home Alone 2.
Home Alone Dos.
It's whenever Mr. McAllister reveals his amazing deductive reasoning skills.
What was that?
They're in the airport, and I remember the dialogue almost verbatim. The flight attendant, because they realize Kevin's missing again.
Mm.
You have a photograph of the child. I have one in my wallet. Pats his pants. I don't have my wallet. I put my wallet in my bag. Gave my bag to Kevin. Kevin has my wallet. And that's actual really? Dialogue from the movie. You're like, no one considered a rewrite?
Anyone on set that day, they could maybe just tweak that a little.
I could take it a couple lines out.
I remember 2 even less than 1. I haven't seen that in so long.
I watched it a lot, but 1 actually like the story. I remember rewatching it recently. The story with the old man's actually kind of sweet.
Oh, for sure, it's a tearjerker. Yeah. John Williams' score is amazing, and I like how brutal the violence is.
It is.
It's not cartoony at all.
No, it's pretty. Like, people get shot.
Nails go through feet.
Yes.
Fuck, this is brutal.
It's pretty. He almost burns them. No, that's the second one. He almost burns them to death.
And the second one, I remember he drops a brick on
Marv's face 3 fucking times.
It doesn't just knock off him. He has a giant caved in skull.
He has these welts. I'm like, yeah, that you'd have. Oh. I remember when I was a kid, fucking Scott Galt took an aluminum bat to the fucking head.
Is that Scott?
A friend of mine when I was a kid. And oh my god, he went down, and I just remember that I saw him. The lump on his noggin was huge, and I'm like, if you got hit in the face with a brick 3 times with edges and corners, son.
I just like to think that Kevin McAllister is a fucking sociopath.
He is.
That character grew up to skin cats alive and just murder prostitutes.
He goes out hunting for fucking burglars that look suspiciously like Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
pulls their gold teeth out.
That'd be a good tale of modern horror. An adult Macaulay Culkin hunting down Joe Pesci.
He did it.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Macaulay Culkin already did. I think it was on Funny or Die.
Damn it.
And it was pretty genius. The one thing I thought was cute is Daniel Stern emerged on social media and he tweeted this almost Blair Witch Project video of himself being like, Harry! He's coming for us, Harry! And I was like, that's adorable.
The Culkin struck again.
So cute.
Son of a bitch.
Another one, should I break out another one?
Yeah, at some point I want to talk about Scrooge, but we can do that whenever.
Okay, this is going to be my last unconventional favorite movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, man.
It is a Christmas movie.
It's a total Christmas movie.
So is Iron Man 3.
Yes, and Iron Man 3, which they're essentially the same movie.
They kind of are. Yeah, except Kiss Kiss Bang Bang doesn't end with an army of robots and Gwyneth Paltrow on fire as a lava woman.
No, it ends with an awesome shootout and Robert Downey Jr. French kissing Val Kilmer.
Yeah. No, that movie's amazing. We need to redo our Marvel lists because I made mine all cocksure that Iron Man 3 is my number one favorite. I rewatched it last week. It dropped a lot.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
You know what? Not until it's sort of like Spider-Man 3, which I also rewatched recently, where like the first 2 acts are great. People need to shut up. This fits in to the Sam Raimi universe perfectly. Even emo silly Spidey, you're like, this is like Evil Dead comedy. It's great.
Okay.
But then the third act is so atrocious. It's the opposite of wow him in the end.
It is horrifying to watch.
Yeah. Don't never put your action through a second lens of a news program to a people
Just
in a
show
theater
it, yes.
watching it. We already have the disconnect. And I think Iron Man 3 did that because I was watching along and I was like, yeah, this is totally still my favorite. Marvel, definitely. And then when it got to the third act, I was like, oh, this just fell the fuck apart.
Yep.
Like the last 20 minutes. And like, oh, as soon as he's done MacGyvering his way through and catching the Mandarin, the whole ending with Gwyneth Paltrow's got the sauce in her, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And that's where all the bad dialogue really starts coming out in that whole last act. Like, I don't know. I can see that, like, the beginning I actually like a lot. I love the idea of just throwing Tony to the wolves.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, that's a really cool idea. Like, one of my favorite shots in that fucking movie is whenever he's just sitting on the couch with this amazing $1 billion piece of technology.
Next to him, yeah.
But, like, they're perfectly juxtaposed. Like, the man, the suit, and just the disconnect of him being like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this piece of shit?
Yeah.
What am I doing with myself?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I
love the kid. The kid before he was oversaturated in every movie.
Oh, right.
I like the kid in that because that was the first time we ever saw this kid. So you're like, oh, he's an adorable kid.
Right.
Now he's in everything.
Because we're connected. That line is great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I love the whole MacGyver aspect of it, too. Like, when he's just, like, pulling, like, car batteries together and, like, tasing people and shit.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah. I like the idea of, like, you know, I guess they were really starting to put them outside their element like that, which is something that came later on with those flicks. Mm-hmm. But you needed a little bit of, like, what is Tony outside of his element? We'll take away his billionaire playboy fucking... all that, what does he have at his disposal?
What's left? Yeah, billionaire playboy,
philanthropist. But unlike him, Harry from fucking Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a fucking idiot. My favorite thing about that movie, man, was that his character's name? It is, right?
I think it's Harry. Yeah.
It's essentially, it's got the same nuance I love of like, the Big Lebowski or anything where it's just like a guy who doesn't know he's in a film noir, but is totally in a film noir. Like there's all the girl in trouble who shows up in the rain, the dialogue, like, you know, like the narration, all that shit. It's totally just like Maltese Falcon, but told through the lens of like 21st century LA.
Wait, is his pedophile friend in that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Fucking what's his face? Val Kilmer is probably like one of his top 3 best roles.
Oh,
ever.
pudgy Val Kilmer.
I love pudgy Val Kilmer, and this is Gay Perry. Just letting Val Kilmer be the homosexual we all know he really is.
He really is. I think Goose will be in... I've never seen Top Gun, by the way. Yeah. There's a new Top Gun coming out. You know it's going to be a Tom Cruise vanity project filled with stunts.
I bet you in one point in the movie someone talks about how amazing Tom Cruise is. That tends to be a staple in every fucking movie the man makes.
I'll bet you at one point, since he's eventually going to kill himself doing these fucking stunts, I bet you at one point they're going to strap him onto the outside of a fighter jet and actually take it up and land it again.
Only if they're cranking Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
That's the only way he'll do it.
Why? Because it's the director of all these new Mission Impossibles, and, like, quite frankly, I don't like Mission Impossible. Like, I like the first one. I don't like any of the rest.
Last one was pretty dope.
I hated the last one. If we can go off on a tangent for a minute.
Is it a Christmas movie? There's snow in it?
Yeah, there's snow in it. It ends like the end of a sitcom where he's in bed, like fucking Return of the King.
They stole the Return of the King ending.
And then like it ends on a gag, and he like Pratt faces the camera, and then it cuts to credits. But the whole movie felt like episode 36 of a 200 episode TV show. And I just feel like the Mission Impossible movies shouldn't feel like that, because it was Quantum of Solacing. It was wrapping up the plot from the last one of their Blofeld, and then it ended so I don't know. I don't know. I really
you're really over it. I think you're really over analyzing Mission Impossible.
I
went to it. I was like, I want to see the little dude try to kill himself for my amusement. That's all I want to see. I don't give a shit.
I think I have such a love for the first one
The first one I can actually see the artistry in it, the whole idea of there's this team and within the first 5 minutes they're dead and he has to figure it out from there.
That's the team from the show too, so they just kill off the main cast from the show.
It's such a fucking cool idea. This one had none of that. No. This was just we have to find these nukes. It was the most cliche plot line ever. But
it was a vanity project.
I'm not watching Bad Boys 2 for what does it say about the human condition? I'm like, no, I want to see some shit blow up. I want to see Tom Cruise fall off a fucking airplane.
See, I can't. It's I don't know.
I want Simon Pegg better be in there and say something funny. Oh man, how unbelievable was a fight between Alec Baldwin and Henry Cavill? That was
he just died immediately. You're killing off all your people. What the hell?
I just thought it was hilarious. I'm like, please tell me he suggested that. How much did he?
I want to fight Henry Cavill.
I want to punch Superman in his face.
I want to punch Superman in the face.
Come on, let me do it.
I don't know. I can't get behind Tom Cruise's vanity projects. They don't interest me. They don't catch my attention at all. They can be the most outrageous stunts in the world, but it's like masturbating. It's like
I equate it to a Jackie Chan movie, dude. I saw those fucking Rush Hour flicks. See, it's all I just like watching people do shit physically for my amusement.
Yeah. But it's the director of that who's doing Top Gun 2, which is a weird choice. Why? So it is 100% going to be a Tom Cruise vanity project, because love the stunts all you want.
Isn't that? I'm thinking about his whole filmography. Isn't that essentially what the dude does
since the '90s? Basically, since he got enough power to.
Yeah. I'm thinking pretty much Interview with the Vampire on. He was like, "Oh, I can do this in every movie." Oh, that's it.
But I really hate the dude's directing because he's a technical director. He's a dude who sets up a far shot, a medium shot, a close up, and worries about it in post. There's no, I don't know. There's no artistry to his decisions. That director, I can't remember his name. I disrespect him so much.
I knew it and I intentionally forgot it.
I don't know. I'm a curmudgeon-y old man.
I don't know. Every time I walk into a theater for that, I'm like, I'm just gonna leave my brain on the wall for the next hour and a half. Because I try to watch it seriously or take any investment in the plot, I'm gonna get mad.
I just think I think I've been oversaturated with movies that you have to do that for now. Because it's every movie now. At least every movie in theaters, every tentpole movie, which is any movie that costs more than $100 million to make,
right,
is just mind-numbing to me now.
Yeah, well, that's just it though. You're paying for a crowd research, please everybody. You're not gonna walk out of that being like, well, that changed the game. No.
I guess maybe I gotta stop eating McDonald's for a while. I've just been eating McChickens exclusively, and now I gotta just back the fuck off. Maybe they'll be appealing again if I take some time away from McChickens. I don't know.
I want to see fucking Green Book.
Which one's Green Book?
Green Book's the one with Mashara. I was embarrassed. I can never say his name. It's Aragorn and
yeah. Where it's the Farrelly brothers.
Is it really a Farrelly brothers?
Yeah, I think it's not brothers. I think it's one Farrelly. Farrelly. I think it's one of them. But yeah, that actually looks pretty good.
Oh fuck out! It's a fucking Farrelly.
Yeah.
Really? How embarrassing would it be if this fucker won an Academy Award? And he's just so all the dead weight that was cum jokes and fucking conjoined twins was all you. Yeah. I left you and got a fucking Oscar nod, you son of a bitch.
Well, it's funny that this year there's a Farrelly brother is making a big serious drama, and then Adam McKay is making Cheney.
Oh, that looks awesome too.
Who's the guy who makes Step Brothers and shit? Will Ferrell.
He does that every now and then. He has a couple.
Does he have more serious stuff?
Oh my god, yeah, he has a couple of other.
I remember how awkward it was when the other guys ended with stats about the military-industrial complex or something. I was like, wait, what? What's
Adam
happening?
McKay, yeah.
Adam McKay.
And that's what I like about Adam McKay is that he makes goofy things, so I think he has license to do weird
Something
shit.
Weird, yeah.
I think it was a fucking Will Ferrell talked about it once on a podcast where I think that's essentially his work ethic is he kind of likes the Spielberg way of make something big that'll please everybody so you can make your art house
put
picture.
Your little thing in. Oh yeah, maybe I'm just not familiar with
He's actually very smart.
Other Adam McKay movies.
Heavily politically minded. Let's see.
I know I hate all of his movies aside from Step Brothers. I think Step Brothers is adorable.
Fucking hilarious. That's a kind of Christmassy movie.
Yeah, I guess kind of.
Oh god,
I do love Step Brothers.
I love Step Brothers to death. Yeah.
But I hate the Talladega Nights, The Legend of Ricky Bobby, Anchorman. I really enjoy.
Anchorman's good,
but Anchorman 2 is unwatchable in my opinion.
I did see. I saw it in theaters, but I immediately forgot everything about it.
Yeah. And then is that new shirt Holmes and Watson, which just looks atrocious. Is that Adam McKay or is that just
Adam McKay?
Is it?
The Big Short was his other
literally the clip I saw from Holmes and Watson is they pratfall whack they're trying to take a selfie with the camera. It's a camera, but aimed at ourselves. A self-taking camera. And then they whack the Queen of England with it in a pratfall. And like, that's where you guys have ended up, eh? That's the level you're reaching for.
So... He did The Big Short about the financial crisis in
right.
2008.
Yeah.
And then what else did he do?
Spotlight? No.
But I guess that's it. But like, yeah, I think that Chain flick looks fucking awesome.
Chain should be interesting.
Or is it Vice? Vice, that's what it's called.
Vice. Good, at least to see Batman get tubbed up. That idiot's gonna kill himself.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought the second they showed him with his shirt off in that trailer. I'm like, you're gonna fucking die.
You can't keep doing this.
That's insane.
He's also at an age where his skin's elasticity is all but gone.
That's what I was thinking. Like, whenever you're starving and raising your body shit, like between your 20s and 30s, you're fine. But like at this age, dude, like there's no way. Like you're only have so many reps in your body, dude. Like,
you can always tell when someone gains weight for a role because their skin is so tight. So they have a big belly, but the skin looks like it's just like smeared across it like an overinflated balloon. The skin hasn't had time to stretch out yet.
Looks goddamn sick. But I'm trying to think. The last thing I saw him in was American Hustle. And he was fat in that too. Is he just fat now?
Yeah, he was fat in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really fat in that one.
Maybe he's just fat now.
He's fat, man.
He's just fat, man. All right, another Christmas movie. What else we got? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's a great movie. Everyone should watch it.
It's a genius flick.
It is absolutely genius. There's not much more we can say about it other than it's a genius flick. Watch that movie.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
We're breaking new ground here, people.
We're breaking new ground. In case you haven't heard of it. Nightmare Before Christmas we've talked about.
Dude, can we talk about Elf?
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Buddy's discovering who he really is.
You're not like the rest of us. I was sure when you cracked 6 feet that it would come up.
My bad.
You're not an elf.
Sure.
like
I'm
Elf?
not a huge fan of Elf.
Really?
But then again, I love what's his name, Jon Favreau. So
Yeah.
there's enough in it that I really do enjoy.
I just love it. To me, Favreau's really good. That's why that Star Wars series kind of gives me hope, because he's the showrunner on it.
The not Boba Fett series.
The not quote unquote not Boba Fett series. The cast list is getting nuts, man. Like Nick Nolte,
Really?
Giancarlo.
He's gonna scream his way through every
I guess
scene.
so. Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, Gus is going to be in it.
Okay.
It's getting crazy. I'm like,
And who's not Boba Fett?
the guy who played the Viper from Game of Thrones. I forget his name. He's also in
that
Narcos.
guy gets his eyes squished out.
Yeah. Which I'm like, that's cool casting, dude.
I honestly figured it was going to be a lady.
That would have been cool. That'd been a cool way to go.
Well, because
But
the way the armor looked, because it clearly wasn't him in the armor, so it was just a stunt
guy.
testing it.
Yeah.
It looked a little feminine, so I was like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be a lady.
I'm sure there's rumor they're going to work in what's her name from Rebels. I'm sure she's going to be in it, Sabine. But yeah, no, Favreau's good at being like what I like about him as a director. Like I watched that food truck movie. I'm like, I enjoyed that.
Oh, I never saw that. Where he's a chef.
Yeah, chef.
Like
it's a lot like what's that flick with Adam Sandler where it's like 2 movies glued together about him dying of cancer, and then all of a sudden he has a rebirth movie.
Funny People.
Funny People. It was like his Funny People, where it's long, but like, I thought it was kind of interesting. The whole first part is about a dude just falling apart. And the second half is him like regaining his life by opening a food and like all those commentating on the food truck craze.
Is that him explaining why he got so fat?
Yes,
pretty much.
100%. Because the dude trained with the guy who kind of initiated the food truck craze. I forget his fucking name, but he trained with this guy and just learned to make crazy meals. It's food porn. That movie is oh god.
I think my biggest problem with Elf, honestly, is that I fundamentally dislike Will Ferrell.
But that's what I was That's what I was getting to in terms of like finding like a Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man. They found a vehicle for his specific brand.
I mean, I
humor.
love Anchorman, right?
Yes,
and I love Step Brothers.
Yes,
and that's it. I can't stand Will Ferrell in anything else.
I think he worked. I think I have the same feelings about Step Brothers and Anchorman as I do about this flick. Where I'm just like, if I can't remember who was supposed to play Buddy originally. And they said that Will Ferrell was like their second choice, but like it's like on Saturday Night Live I was just always like, okay, his humor is very much the same.
He's always
thing.
just playing a child in an adult body,
big child with a pouty face, and he yells occasionally. So in this one, just seeing him go the complete opposite, like being like this really like super happy and peppy, but like still being like, because I refused to watch this movie. I remember when it came out, I was like, oh fuck that flick.
Yeah.
And then one year it was high school. last day of school and you're not working, they just wheel a TV in the fucking room and put it up. They put Elf on, and I was like, oh Jesus. Second the narwhal came out of the water, I'm like, I am in. I was a huge Bob Newhart fan as a kid. I don't know why.
Oh, he was the elf dad.
So
wasn't he?
that also, I was like, I love the whole opening, like as a cult, like just a love song to those Rankin Bass stop motion cartoons. I'm like, this is immediately winning my interest. And then it shifts gears. You throw in fucking, what do you call it? James Caan, for fuck's sake.
Oh, as the father.
As his fucking dad. And it becomes this very serious, grounded movie about a dude trying to fucking find his father. I was like, whoa, wait, we're doing this with it? Like, and it's still legit funny. Like, they still don't compromise his humor, but like they drive into this really serious story about it. And like to the point where at the end of the movie, James Caan meets Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And it should be like, oh, fuck yourself.
And they put rockets on Santa's
Yeah.
See, I kind of went down the dark side path of, oh, go fuck yourself.
Because there's certain movies that can pull that off, like the Santa Claus.
Oh God,
you know what
I
I'm
have
saying?
no memory of that movie other than he gained weight.
The Santa Claus movie ends with fucking Judge Reinhold blowing in an Oscar Mayer wiener whistle that he wanted since he was a kid, and thus shows that Santa is real and blah blah blah. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. Fuck this ending. I have that stupid image of Judge Reinhold blowing a hot dog wiener in my brain.
Luckily, that's completely
pops in my head sometimes, and it just makes me want to punch a hole in the wall.
Because I watched that a bunch of times too, that movie, and it's just completely.
Oh, God damn it! But Elf. I can rewatch it. It doesn't do that. I can rewatch it over and over again.
Did you ever watch Home Improvement, Tim Allen's
yes,
vehicle?
I did.
I loved Home Improvement as a kid, but then I didn't realize that it was. Hey, you don't understand what horrible things are when you're a kid. You hear a laugh track and you think everything's great.
I just remember watching it because for like the sight gags, Tim's got a big tool and Al disapproves. Yeah. This can only go one way, and the audience goes crazy and shit. That's, to me as a kid, that's what appealed to me.
Then he went on to do Last Man Standing.
Hey, there was a long period where he was Buzz motherfucking Lightyear in there.
That's true, and he's going to be again soon.
Yeah.
They just keep cranking out them Toy Stories, Disney.
Kind of weird. I thought they were like, I thought it was a good ending with 3.
Yeah, sure was.
It's so strange.
Now it's going to be 4 for no reason, and I'm sure 5 and 6 will be eventually.
These fuckers just never get a break.
I just recently learned about a Jim Henson movie called like The Toys at Christmas or something, and it's clearly when Disney bought Henson, the Jim Henson Company, they were able to just sort of cannibalize it for whatever ideas they wanted. Because the whole thing is about toys who come alive when you're not around. And it's an adventure of all these toys. And they're all puppets. They're all Jim Henson puppets. So it's kind of horrifying. And I just learned about this because some friends of mine have been revisiting it. It's really interesting. It called? You'd have to search for Muppet, Jim Henson Muppet Toys Come Alive. Like that. It'll direct you there eventually. But some friends of mine. Yeah, there's this clown that's like a horror show. So they take it like because you know how the old. Did you hear recently Frank Oz finally came out and talked about Muppets?
No. What'd he say?
He was like, ever since Disney bought it, they've been fucking it up because they don't understand these characters at all. Kermit is this one-dimensional moron. All the characters is one-dimensional. Like we had real teeth to them. We had real depth to them. Like Kermit was just a manager of a stage show.
Yeah.
He had his own dreams and aspirations.
I found him very equatable to Dave Foley in News Radio.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And so Frank Oz is like everything that's happened since Disney bought the Muppets, shows they don't understand what the Muppets are.
That's gotta be so frustrating too. Because you're just like, we've been doing this since the 70s, and we built an empire. We don't need your input. Like, fuck off.
Oh, you mean, because Disney didn't keep a lot of the people when they bought the property and then put their own people.
But that's what I mean, like, you know, in terms of like their. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just mean like, I guess, like, in terms of like for Frank Oz, you know, he's got to go in there. I'm sure he's still doing some voice work for
them. No,
because
I think the last Jim, because they've only produced the 2 new Muppet movies and then the Muppet TV show that happened in the last couple of years. So I think his last, whatever their last one was, Muppet Treasure Island or. Whatever.
Oh no, it was
Gonzo.
Muppets from Space.
Muppets from Space. I think that was the last actual Henson one, and that's the last time he had anything to do with it. So really, all Disney's done with it is their online content, the 2 Jason Segel movies. Well, one Jason Segel movie and the sequel to it.
I forgot the sequel.
And then that 1 season show where they had like a new. They were trying to recreate the Muppets, and yeah, they're not great. the characters are really one-dimensional in those movies, and now hearing Frank Oz articulate it so well, you're like, yeah, that's what was wrong with it.
There was definitely, you're not, because that's what I kind of loved about the original Muppet Show, is that they really did kind of make it like the Larry Sanders Show more than anything. Like, it was pretty grounded in like severity, where like, no, Miss Piggy has to compromise by the end of the show, because otherwise how are we going to end it? Like, they made little arcs in there.
Yeah.
So just, I watched that new series, and they were trying to make it edgier, like it was 30 Rock or something.
They're trying to use like PG-13 humor rather than have depth to the characters.
Yeah, and it was just really blatant. It felt like doing a PG-13 Deadpool. I was like, I see what you're trying to do.
And I want to just say right now, I would love to double check to see if, in fact, the last Jim Henson produced movie was Muppets from Space, because I don't want to be wrong on that. Because occasionally I'm wrong. It's very rare.
I love the fact that you're fucking taking this so seriously.
Well, because now I don't want to be all like...
I don't want to discredit the empire that was the Jim Henson legend.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love that Kermit was Jim Henson. So he had all the layers of a real human being, because Jim Henson was just playing it as himself. So, like, now Kermit is just... I don't know. What was in the Jason Segel movie? He just wanted to put the band back together. That was his whole motivation.
Yeah, well, they Last Jedi did, where he was just like down and out of luck, and he hasn't talked to anybody in forever. So
that's
the whole
not
thing.
Kermit.
No,
he would have moved on and done something else.
He would have became a fucking banjo player.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it looks like by the look of it, the last thing his name is on is The Great Muppet Caper.
Oh, really? So he didn't do Miss Piggy or anything for all those more recent...
Oz?
Oh, I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
I'm looking at the flicks that Jim Henson produced.
Oh, yeah, he would have died once he died, right? He died so long ago. But they kept it... His son kept it going for the longest time, and that's... I think it is... The Disney did just buy it, because they replaced his son as the voice of Kermit, and that was a big uproar about 6 years ago. So that's when Disney must have gotten their tentacles in the Muppets.
That's so fucking creepy watching a company just take away the thing that you and your dad built. Just like, that's like so cold.
Disney's pure evil. Just remember, kids, when you're taking your daughters to see Captain Marvel, the Disney loves the Trump administration and how much money they can get as a corporation from his tax cuts. So as inspired as your daughters will be, they'll be inspired and grow up in a world where those rights and ability to act on those inspirations will have been stripped from them. Keep that in mind when you're giving it $1 billion, guys. Please keep that in fucking mind when you're giving it $1 billion. Yeah,
Frank Oz hasn't done the Muppets since Sesame Street 2014.
Yeah, so that must have been it. It was around there that they bought it. It was whenever...
but they got him back for Last Jedi. That had to be an awkward meeting.
Yeah. Whenever their YouTube page launched, that's when Disney bought them. When the Bohemian Rhapsody Muppets video and all that shit.
Yeah.
I think that was like 2008 or 2009.
But on that note, you know what else I like? Muppet Christmas Carol.
There goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Grin.
Do you think it's safe for us to be up here?
If they gave a prize for being mean, the winner would be him.
Yes, Mr. Cratchit.
If you please, Mr. Scrooge, the bookkeeping staff would like to have an extra shovel full of coal for the fire.
Our assets are frozen.
How would the bookkeepers like to be suddenly
unemployed?
Heat wave. Oi! This is my island in the sun.
Muppet Christmas Carol's great.
I like fucking Michael Caine. That's the one thing that they kind of couldn't get in fucking Treasure Island. Because I have
no real memory of Treasure Island.
Right? Like, I love fucking Tim Curry, but him as Long John Silver, I was just like, I'm not buying this.
I have no real memory.
It's not half as good as seeing that serious Michael Caine talking to a fucking Muppet. He's talking to like a bunch of rats, mate. It's the funniest fucking thing. Yeah. It's just like he's a powder keg waiting to go off. Yeah. But like, honestly, I was texting with my sister. And like we used to, when you're a kid, you fucking make fun of that movie a lot. Like when you were younger, you watch it with your siblings. Like, wouldn't it be funny if Rizzo just kicked Gonzo in the nuts right now?
Yeah.
But as an adult, you can let down those guards and like
this is great.
Say like which how you actually feel. And my sister and I were talking. It's like that part during the Christmas song where the ghost of Christmas presents dancing around and Scrooge starts getting into it. He starts rocking back. I'm like, yeah, it gets me every year.
Every time,
it gets me a little bit every year. He starts to get into it.
Yeah. I should watch that again, because again, it's been a few years, but that's one of those movies where it's been a while since I've watched it, but I still remember so much of it because it left an impact on me.
One of the funniest gags in that movie is the jelly bean gag. Whenever Rizzo jumps off the fence and like he's like, I forgot my jelly beans, and he goes back through the gate.
And then jumps,
and then, he just goes through the gate, and then comes back, he's like, you could fit through the bars? He's like, why? He's like, you're such an idiot. He's like, what?
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest jokes they've ever written. But
what was the first appearance of Rizzo the Rat?
Oh, Jesus, I think New York, if I'm not mistaken, the New York one.
Because obviously it's Rizzo from Midnight Cowboy. That was Dustin Hoffman's character, was Rizzo. They call him Ratzo. That's where he comes from. So what new Muppets have they introduced recently other than that completely devoid of anything original Muppet main character from the new Muppet movie with Jason Segel, who's just a dude in Muppet form, and then that sexy Asian pig from in the new TV show. It was like an Asian Miss Piggy, and she was another pig that was like...
Why do I not remember that?
Yeah, it was like competing for Kermit's affection, and Miss Piggy was really upset.
Oh, he had another girlfriend, that's right.
And she was supposed to be Asian. It's awkward. Awkward, to say the least.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking what the fucks are going on in the thought process on that one.
So what else we got? What are some other... sorry.
I remember one of the best things I didn't download. I found I watched a screening of Muppet Christmas Carol a couple of years ago, and there's a fucking part. One of the parts I will continually make fun of in that movie because fuck it, like I can only take so much fucking corn in my balls, my corn balls. It's the song that past Scrooge's girlfriend sings, because it's the only scene where there's no Muppets. So I really don't care.
Kind of check out.
I really check out, and her song's not great, and like it's shot really poorly because she like will be walking away from him, and then he will come up behind her and then lean in, and then she'll turn away like as at the verse or at the refrain,
right?
And just the edit, it just bugs me because once you get used to the flow of it, you're like, okay, is Rizzo coming back? Is someone gonna be a puppet soon? I need
just a Christmas Carol now.
I need a felt character immediately.
The googlier eyes, the better.
Oh, it drives me nuts. So I watched this version, and I'm like, honestly, about 20 minutes from the end, being like, wait a minute, did they fucking cut out that song?
Oh,
it hasn't come out yet, and he's already at the Ghost of Christmas. Oh, thank fuck! So someone else had the same feeling I did. They're like, we got it. It's dead weight. This entire scene is dead weight.
So that's on an actual official release.
Yes. I think Disney was just like, guys, we gotta fucking talk about this.
How did you see it on a VHS before? Did you see it before?
I taped it off
TV.
On TV.
Oh, they used to do that. Used to add new scenes on TV. Remember the Lost World televised version had like 3 extra scenes in it? It was the whole like getting Pete Postlethwaite's character from the little bar when he fights the guy with the one hand tied behind his back.
You told me about this scene. I think I've seen it on the internet.
Ball joke. And the remember the trailer when it shows his nephew going, the British family on a yacht crew stumbled across Site B, and that wasn't in the movie, but in the televised version, there's the whole boardroom scene where he's talking about what happened, and they take control from Hammond. So it could have been one of those situations where they just stuck in a cutscene for the broadcast, maybe. Or you jumped into a parallel universe.
Here we go. Hold on. Older American TV broadcasts of the film not only use When Is the Love Gone... That's the fucking song. As in the VHS, but also has an extended version of Marley and Marley with an extra verse reinstated.
Yeah, I don't know if they were losing audiences to VHS, so TV networks were having to...
Oh, but this says it should have been gone from the TV version. For some reason, the one I saw had it. The one I...
Oh, gone from the TV version.
Mm-hmm. But the one I guess was ripped from something else.
Interesting.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to have to assume that they were trying to combat VHS, the way that cable or network television is trying to combat the internet now. It's like, don't go buy this on VHS. We have new scenes you can only see on NBC, you know? So that must have been the reason, because you still to this day can't buy a version of The Lost World with those cut scenes in it.
You miss those dickheads.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Happy holidays to everyone out there.
Yeah, we just wanted to check in with you guys, talk about some Christmas stuff. A little loose and wild, but I think we got it pretty.
I feel festive.
Yeah, I feel festive as hell.
I feel festive as fuck.
I want to put up my Festivus pole. Have my feats of strength.
Kruger, my son says you couldn't smooth a sheet if you had a hot date with a babe. Lost my train of thought.
All right, guys. I don't know. We're probably going to be a few weeks before we're back because we got the New Year's and all this stuff. So we'll see you again in January.
In the future.
In 2019. In the meantime, Like, subscribe, share our stuff. It would mean the world to us. All right, guys. See you in the new year. Have a good Christmas. Have a good whatever you're fucking celebrating. It's that time of year for holidays. Enjoy your New Year's. And we'll see you in 2019.
Christmas. It's like a Christmas.